Hi there, everybody. Kevin Schulthies here for the CHP, the Christian Heritage Party. And in today's topic, we are going to be talking about abortion, my stance on it, the party stance on it, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned to that. If you want to see some of the other videos, feel free to take a look at the YouTube channel. And at the same time, you want to hear my particular view on something, drop me an email, and I don't mind making specific emails about this. This is one of our bigger topics, of course, that the party's kind of known for. I've already put out my top 5 platform pieces that I'm really passionate about. There's so many topics to be passionate about, and as a good Canadian, you want to, I'm doing my part to move Canada forward on what I think is the best way, best practice principles throughout human humans history on how to govern oneself, how to govern a family, how to best do community and nations and business, and how to govern people and take care of resources. And those are all biblical principles that we base our platform on. And it gets to the heart of the matter, the root of the matter. So that being said, definitely check out this video and others as well. Share it around, and can always use your support both in this election and in future elections. And if this is a matter that concerns you deeply, feel free to write me personally. Um, uh, Not always, you can't always have public comments and whatnot on some of these different platforms. They've become very hostile places, the internet, in terms of having comments and questions. But we'll do what we can to. I fight for free speech, and it really ticks me off when platforms kind of start becoming not platforms but publishers, and they edit their stuff, which is in their right, but then they got to pick and choose their battles if they're a publisher or if they're a platform. And they kind of want the best of both worlds whenever they see advantages. So, anyways, that being said, today's topic, it'll be short and sweet. It's on abortion. And I'm going to read here. I'm just going to flip here first to the CHP's website, so chp.ca, and you can go right to um, the main website. There's platform at the top, 2019 platform. You can click there. You can watch a couple videos, and it's in alphabetical order, but abortion's right at the top. And right on the website, it talks about the CHP is the only federal party with a policy of protecting all innocent human life from conception, right? And that's just the best, easiest way um, to measure it is from conception, meaning you have a third human being that is not the mother, not the father, but you have a third set of DNA created. Um, you want to be able to, we're choosing to defend that at that point. Yes, you could get controversial and say, hey, at certain weeks, hey, at 5, 6, 7 weeks, detect the heartbeat. Is that life then? Right? Most science says, hey, at that point, that's a viable life, healthy heartbeat at 5, 6, 7 weeks or whatever it ends up being. Then that's a good thing. You want to know what? We take it a step further and just say at conception, right? So abortion is not a charter protected right. Um, and many studies actually have, science says um, when abortion's involved, when you have a natural birth, like the human body's a miracle in itself, and birth and raising children actually statistically really helps improve a lot of stats when it comes to certain health related issues. And when you have an abortion or a miscarriage, your body does, it's sometimes one and the same. You can want the birth and it doesn't happen. And but when your body prepares for birth, and it changes your body, changes hormones, chemicals, and it starts preparing, it can actually set into a chain of, and then it doesn't happen, it's interrupted. It actually can set another set of consequences health-wise for the rest of your life as well, statistically. So abortions have a lot of future consequences as well, physically, especially emotionally, um, and the biggest thing that we at the CHP stand for is spiritually. Not too many people talk about the spiritual consequences. You could link that into kind of emotional or mental state or something like that, but there are consequences to any decision, and we value all life, including on the assisted suicide um, question as well. We choose to defend life as long as there's life. Doesn't matter gender or age or quality. We choose to defend it. That's just we think all life is precious, and you shouldn't not defend it, and it's a slippery slope. And we're also wanting to make sure that abortions, at the very minimum, defunded and not defended at all. So, including um, stop sending tons of, billions of dollars to other countries that have um, their own programs, and they have their own healthcare systems that already take care of these things, and we're also giving them money to, you know, uh, do something that they're already doing. That needs to stop immediately, and keep those billions of dollars to keep Canadians healthier, because we already have a lot of issues in ourselves. Um, so that's a big issue right there. And yeah, so that's the abortion issue right there. You can actually potentially see a few other talks online, maybe a few other candidates. Some of the candidates will speak out very passionately about it. Um, Again, I have a big list of issues that I think that I'm a bit more well read up on. I can speak to a little bit more so than others. I don't have too many stories or experiences around even the abortion issue. I know that it is where I stand. I will defend life. I defend, just like how I defend one of my top issues is I defend freedom. And it actually it's linked together, right? When you devalue human life, um, and you don't when you devalue human life, it sets up a whole nother chain of thinking that is outright dangerous. If you think you're not valuable, you're an accident, life, that sets a parameter on your other choices, and how you interact with people, how you experience things, how your opinions are made. Biblical values and principles aren't always, you know, they're not always the nicest to be able to follow, but they're meant from basically the owner. They're like the owner's manual, to say, hey, this is the best practice principles to kind of live your life. And, you can get the higher quality good and quality of life out of life if you follow these principles. And again, they're principles. A lot of people, and human nature has always taken rules to the extreme and created religions out of them, and you've always heard a list of do's and don'ts, and people don't like lists and being told what to do. And but like a good parent, you want to protect the unprotected, protect your young ones, protect your children, train them up so that they can make good productive decisions later on too. So no child ever likes to be told what to do and what not to do. Go to bed at a certain time, or don't eat too much candy, or this or that, because it at the same time, if you don't correct certain behaviors earlier on in life, they have consequences later on. Everything does, right? And yeah, that's just my stance on that. So I do defend life um, big time. And that's what, and I'm also happy, and this is where I'm really happy about the CHP keeping Christian in its name, the Christian Heritage Party. Some people say, well, why don't you take the Christian out and be the Canadian Heritage Party? Well, then we're no different than any of the other parties that can have good meaning people that say, line up with some of your values on a certain spectrum, but then years later, their party platform also shifts and changes and ignores certain topics, or they outright change their opinion on and platforms. And there's always going to be some of that, regardless of politics. Like that's just shifting and stuff that happens. But I'll tell you something, with the word Christian in the CHP title, we can't stray from Christian values. And I understand that Christian values is a big giant gamut, and there's been a lot of things attributed to Christianity that I'm ashamed of and that I have nothing to do with. There's just like most religions go, hey, we're this, we're not those guys. We're don't don't categorize us and don't be a phobia against us or something just because we're not those guys. And Christianity's had 2,000 plus years um, as that umbrella, and then there's a huge gamut of human history under that as well. Not all that I agree with myself. So, but at the very end, the, the Christian Heritage Party candidates run on biblical values, and if they stray from those biblical values, um, that's our platform technically. Um, Good practice human behaviors um, for the better of Canada, you know, um, you know, and yeah. So there's that, like just the only other story I had. We were at a high school, and they were talking about, hey, will you lower the age of vaping, even lower to a younger age. And I'm all for freedom. I actually mentioned this too because both topics came up. I said I'm for freedom, but at the same time, there's freedom, and then there's defending your life against stupidity as well. And that's kind of an age thing and a health issue and stuff like that. If what you're doing harms others, then that's kind of where I draw the line as well. Um, what you choose to do, and it's other controversial topics. I'm for gun control. I'm for, or not gun control. I'm for gun control, proper good use of guns um, for everybody. If somebody wants to own a gun, they should be trained up, licensed up, and they should more than welcome to have a gun. If somebody wants to learn how to drive a car, they should get learned up, educated, licensed to drive a car. Both of those are dangerous weapons. If you do use them and you do harm somebody, then you are criminally um, liable for that. And I actually believe the same thing. Even the abortion topic is, I'm for your freedoms to, do practices that I'm not even necessarily, lifestyles that I would suggest, you might not want to live for the consequences it draws out. But I'm also fighting for your freedom to have some of those choices. But again, you're involving another life with the abortion, and you don't have to like my definition, but when you involve another life and you're harming another life, I got to defend all life equally. So I'll defend your right um, to choose until it kind of involves somebody else, and then that's where you really have to kind of draw the line right there and go, where is that line? And I know that's debatable and whatnot, but um, that's just where I stand on that topic. So if you guys like this question, sorry I rambled on, but this is where I'm at. So I do defend all human life from birth to grave. Um, and you can look at our platform on the website, and you can continue looking on future videos. Drop me an email. Um, anytime you want to drop a well thought email out, if you have maybe controversial or other maybe YouTube videos you want me to see, um, I can take a look. Can't promise you anything, but at the same time, yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'll do my best to discuss with you guys future topics, and I'm not afraid of controversial topics at all. And this video I fully expect to be out on the internet for forever, even if I take it off, delete it. I am well aware that once something's on the internet, screenshots, captures, downloads can happen, and it will be forever on the internet. So, I trust that my opinion uh, shouldn't necessarily change. It's a sensitive topic for sure. Not everybody's going to agree with it, but I truly believe that it's in the best interest of us as people and in communities and families moving forward for all of Canada. So, love your support. You can like the video, share the video. If you want, you can support both the EDA, the local EDA um, that you're in. If you don't have a local EDA, which is a riding, that maybe meets regularly, maybe you are somebody that um, there might be one local enough you can go to the next one or skip over. But if there's none in your area, you might be one that needs to partner up, and we can actually help start some with you, and we can partner up with you, and you can be part of the core of starting one for your backyard and your people in your area. And at the same time, you can support the party in general at chp.ca. Get involved and say, hey, how can I help? But at the very least, thank you for educating yourself, being an educated citizen. All you know, freedom is lost when you have a loss of citizens that choose not to or choose to be kind of ignorant to the discussions. Trust me, you should learn all the different opinions out there, because when you're passionate about some of the opinions, you should definitely watch lots of conflicting media, whether it's sometimes they call it far left, far right, and stuff like that. Because at the very least, when somebody's passionate about their opinions, they'll do their best to poke holes at the other's arguments and whatnot. And you can actually, if you look at it objectively, you can actually potentially start getting some truth and stuff. Because if you just keep listening to one set of media, you'll only get one set of topics. And we know online, just with all the controversies, and even in the last few weeks of this 2019 election, it has been absolutely crazy where the internet is going, how our governments have been shutting down freedom of speech right here in Canada. That'll be a whole nother topic. How they've been shutting down journalism that doesn't agree with them, using government and courts and RCMP to arrest journalists and shut out free speech from Canada. That's more concerning as well. And those are some topics I like to talk about. So again, I'm trying to defend everybody as best I can. Love you, blessings, and hope to talk to you in the future, maybe via email, or come see, we can maybe meet one day and we can have a conversation as well. Okay. If you like that video, feel free to hit that subscribe button to catch all my other videos, and as they come out, give me a thumbs up, much appreciated. Share the video around, and of course, check out the other websites and other links down below.